Hi everyone, something that we recommend people do for various different reasons is one leg standing, and we would prescribe this for lots of different things. It could be that you've got a lower limb injury, it could be that you've got a bit of a back issue, it could be that you've got a little bit of core issues going on, it could be all sorts of different things. Perfectly honest with you, everybody could probably do with spending a bit of time on one leg, a bit like a flamingo, because what it does is it helps to strengthen up all the tiny postural muscles. So if you imagine when you're going about doing your normal day-to-day stuff, you're using the larger muscles that kind of help us to ambulate and do all the things that we need to do. Sometimes the little teeny postural muscles can kind of get a little bit lost. So when we're standing on one leg, you'll know yourself if you've done it before. You can see like your kind of foot wiggling and moving, and all the tiny little ligaments and tendons and muscles really going crazy in order to keep you there. So standing on one leg is a very good exercise to help to keep our proprioception well. And what that means is that's your brain's awareness of where your body is in space. So when our proprioception is lacking, we might find that we're a bit clumsy, we're bumping into things, tripping over stuff that isn't even there, and we lose a bit of proprioception when we have a lower limb injury. So we're talking about lower limbs today. So standing on one leg, super easy, super important. I always suggest that people do it mindfully. And the reason why we say that is because what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the brain. And what I mean by that is we're trying to get the brain to understand where our body is in space. So we really need to think about the movement that we're doing. If we don't think about it, then we're not really making any positive long-term changes. We're kind of just going through the motions and having a chat or listening to music or whatever, and nothing's really taken place in the brain. So neuroplasticity means that our brain is a bit plastic and it can take new information and it can make new habits. So if we stand on one leg, preferably with no shoes on, I've got shoes on today because I'm in clinic, so preferably with no shoes on, barefoot at home, something around us that we can hold on to if we are feeling a little bit wobbly, and if we can maybe tie it into something that we already do. So brushing our teeth is ideal. So brushing the teeth quite methodically, thinking about it, maybe even closing our eyes, adding in a different dimension there. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. Believe it or not, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to stand on one leg. So we're going to go through that now. So we're going to have a chair or something handy, just in case. If you've got a lower limb injury on, say, the left side, then I would always suggest that you do the right side first or vice versa. So whichever is your better leg, that's the one that you want to start on. That gives the brain the right signal so that when you then go to do the other side that's not feeling so good, it can kind of almost make your bad side more like your good side. So it's something called bilateral training, and it's very effective. So what we're doing is we're equalising ourselves to start with, bringing both feet together, or if that feels a bit too wobbly, you can just separate the feet. We're going to try and equalise our weight. So I want my weight to be balanced between left side and right side. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to hold on, roll the shoulders, so squeeze them up, squeeze them back and just drop them. So we've got a nice lovely posture. We've got a tiny little bit of connection going on in the tummy, and what that means is we're just drawing the belly button towards the spine just a little, and then we're drawing in the pelvic floor very, very slightly. So imagine that you're employing the muscles that you would to stop yourself from having a wee mid-flow bloop. You're just kind of popping those on a little bit. So we've got a little bit of core connection, and then we're going to start to take one foot off. Now as we take that foot off, we take the foot out to the back and we super glue the knees together. Yeah, so we don't want this going on, we don't want that going on, we don't want this going on. We want the knees together, the foot out the back. Then we're going to think about pushing the bottom forward so that the hip flexors are getting a lovely stretch as well, and we get a lovely stretch into the quadricep muscles. So we want to stand like this for a good 30-60 seconds if we can. You will find that lots of things start to feel a bit weird. So you might feel the muscles around here are working really hard. What we need to do is ideally stand in front of a mirror, because what can happen is after a while we end up doing this. So we switch off all those gluteal muscles and we hike that hip out, and that really doesn't do all we want it to do. So we want to be nice, tall, straight, everything's still, nothing's moving, keeping the knees together, and it's perfectly fine if that leg that you're standing on is wobbling, but everything else ought to be the same. If we can take our hand off and stay on that one leg, brilliant. If we can close our eyes and stay on that one leg, woo, even better. So there's lots of different ways that you can challenge yourself and progress this exercise. it is an exercise. It's an exercise for the body. It's an exercise for the brain, and it's excellent. So please get on board with it. It's almost like a little anti-aging exercise as well. It helps to keep the connection, that proprioceptive connection between the body and the brain going, and it really helps with balance as well. So as we get older, we often find, especially older folk, you know, we'll end up having falls and all sorts of things, and this is a lovely way that that can be partially prevented. So I hope that helps, and let me know what you think. Take care. Bye.